we're here with John Berline, president of Drury University, and I saw a great article called "The Great Game of Hello" on Inside Higher Ed that John was interviewed about, which is a really cool on-campus initiative to get people to connect on campus in real life. And I'll let John explain it. John, thanks for being here.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, so tell me about the game and how it started, and give us the overview.
Sure. I can't take credit for it. I helped implement it, but the idea was the germ of the interim dean of the business school, a man by the name of Jack Stack, who runs SRC manufacturing company here in Springfield, Missouri. He noticed right away that our students are still suffering from that pandemic haze where they were all kind of cloistered and not really engaging with each other. So he said, he said, John, your students aren't talking to each other, and this is a great opportunity for them to build relationships while they're here, and we need to change that. So we set in motion a scheme, if you will, a plan to try and get the students to talk to each other. We had a lot of incentives to get them to take the earbuds out, take the devices out from their faces, and actually say hello. We did a base measurement. 6% of the time when students pass each other, they were saying hello. It was some kind of a greeting. And so our goal was to try and see if we couldn't increase that to 30%. And so we put secret shoppers out on the streets, in the classrooms, on the hallways, measuring the number of times that students would say hello to each other. And over the course of 30 days, we managed to get 31% of the time students were now saying hello to each other.
Wow, that's really cool. And what was the like, how did you implement that? How did students, because I know you guys like put out a video and there was incentives and all that stuff. Explain the rules to me.
Yeah, it emanated from the business school, and so we sensitized all the professors to it and got them to get excited about it and be enthusiastic about it, and getting the students promoting it during the classes. The fraternities and sororities got involved with it, and so on campus it became kind of a fun thing. People yelling across parking lots and streets, hello back and forth to each other. So it just became fun, and students like fun, and it was getting them out of their comfort zone a little bit. But the notion that there might be fun and prizes associated with it got them to embrace it.
So every time they said hello to a secret shopper, if I'm understanding this correct, they got like entered into a raffle.
Yeah, they all got coins. They look like poker chips, but they got their number on each one of these coins. And every time that the secret shoppers, if you will, the secret hello collectors, reached another level of percentage of the time that students were saying hello, each week the students would qualify for a higher level of prizes over the course of the 30 days. Each of the 4 weeks, we had in the student commons where they all have lunch, share their meals together. We announced prizes, and students were awarded all kinds of gifts. We had about $7,000 worth of gifts that we handed out over the course of that time frame. But it was we're going to do it again in the fall. We think it's a better time to maybe do it in the fall than in the spring, because you got a lot of new students coming on board. To greet them and make it a welcoming campus is something that we're going to be focused on.
Yeah, that's a good way to create a sense of belonging, especially in the fall, as people are just first hitting the ground running and trying to make new friends and stuff. What have you noticed? Have you noticed a change, like outside of, people doing it for prizes and stuff? Have you noticed like a more momentum in students connecting, with one another, or is it pretty much just when the game is happening?
No, I'd say that the students started picking up on it, and they started taking it to another level. Hey, let's create the friendliest campus in America. Those kinds of things were popping up, or we want to have the friendliest sorority, or we want to have the friendliest sports team, or those kinds of things, and having the professors get involved with it too. When you see your favorite professor doing something, you want to adopt it as well. as president, I was getting said hello to all the time. And so I said, "What's the problem?" Well, they said, "Well, you're the president. Everybody's going to say hello to you." But it really did feed on itself. Yeah, the prizes were fun, but I think that the students really had they were going out of their way to because they didn't know who the secret shoppers were, and so they were yelling across the Drury Lane about to make sure that they were tapping people who they thought might be the secret shoppers.
Cool. I love that. I love that because so much of college, I feel like, is just, at least for me, like one of the biggest things I took away from college is just the connections that I made with professors and just normal people that I still am in touch with today. And that doesn't happen if everyone's on their phones. And
yeah, well, you start to explore 6 ways of separation, 6 degrees of separation. You'd be amazed at how many connections that you have. And even the marketing students would say, we used to think that perhaps the most sophisticated form of marketing would be some kind of high-tech mass media type of marketing, when actually, if like you and I are having a conversation here today, I can see you nodding your head and you're smiling. And if I say something that you agree with, I'm getting feedback from you.
Yeah.
And it's a richer way of marketing. And so it's kind of changing the way the marketing students are looking at the opportunities that they have once they graduate and get out into the real world to distinguish their marketing attempts from just, the mass mailing kinds of things that go out.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks so much for sharing with our audience about this. I think that's an inspiring way, for just a fun way, because a lot of what we talk about in my newsletter and on my podcast is content creation, but a lot of content creation it does happen online, and blogs and social media posts and stuff. But a lot of the effort is also to use that as a platform to get people to connect in real life. It's content creation is enriched when it actually benefits people out in the real world. So yeah, I thought this was a really a novel idea, and I'm sure our listeners will appreciate it as well. Where can people connect with you at if they want to get in touch with you?
Yeah, it's just John Berline at drury.edu.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks so much, John. We appreciate it.
You bet, John.